Hello for the 15th Sunday in Ordinary Time. And I call this homily, Are You a Weed or a Rose? A Knockout Rose. And we're using two readings. The first reading from Isaiah 55, 10 to 11, and my Gospel, Matthew 13, 1 to 23. And it deals with the Word of God. The Word of God is so powerful. It's unbelievable. But it is fast and permanent, the Word of God. And the Word of God comes down into the world and into the people, and it takes people back up to God if they cooperate. Well, the Word of God is powerful. It's like rain and snow. You know, the rain comes down and the snow comes down, depending on the season, and uh, it has its effect. It causes life or it brings about life. And the rain comes or the snow comes, it melts, it does its thing, and then it evaporates and it goes back to its place of origin. It's powerful and it's like the Word of God. Can you believe that? That's what Isaiah, the prophet, was trying to say. It's powerful, it will happen, and it just comes out of the sky and it goes back up into the sky. And what does that mean to you? Well, Jesus takes that same analogy about the Word of God. He is the Word of God, but he talks about it's effective. It's powerful and effective. But he gives a parable or a story that said, well, this is sort of what it's like. And you know the story. It's like seeds. Seeds coming and falling to the earth and doing their things. And then, it happens. What do you mean? Seeds falling into the ground. Yeah. And he said, well, there's some of these seeds, they fall on the path. And, on the path, there's gravel or rocks or people have trod. And, they sort of start, if it's continuous rain and perfect, and start, but it won't produce a rose or vegetation or something beautiful. The seeds on the falling into the ground, they are some effective and some not. Ah. The Word of God is like some falling on the path. And they're sort of like people who get an idea or a seed in their head, an idea and an understanding, and they take it into themselves, and it's not very strong, it's not very deep, and it doesn't last. And in due time, it passes by, and it ain't no more. And then there is seeds that on the path and so forth, or seeds fall into rocky ground. And the people, Jesus is saying, well, those seeds, they have to grow up in between those rocks, and it's more difficult, and it doesn't take root properly, and it's rocky ground, and it's short-lived. And it only lasts short-lived. You live your life sort of like, you know, temporarily, they're this high, and other times this low. You don't last with carrying out, believing in, and activating the Word of God in your life. And And then, once again, he says, the seed falls to the ground, but it is in thorns. And it tries to grow up underneath those thorns, that thorn bush. And it gets choked out by the thorn bush. Thorn bush wins over knock out roses. The roses are knocked out and the thorns continue to grow. And then the word of God is like seed falling on rich soil. A person hears the word of God, or the words of Jesus, or the new way of Jesus, and he or she takes it in and really buys it, listens to it, prays it, and tries to do what it says. God's will, not my way. The way Jesus lived, not the way bad people live. It's all simple. It gives probably the simple that you can make some of the messages of Jesus, the deeper they really are. So, I mean, we all try to listen to God in our life. If you do, it's called prayer, huh? Listen to God and then responding. And we all try to be good or better or try to do the will of God. That's the whole gist of this. And it begins with God sending his word in the world, into the world, in the Old Testament, in the New Testament, and today. And so I ask you to just look at these two readings and say, is the Word of God in my mind, in my heart, and in my life? And if it is, you'll be happier. You'll be brighter. You'll be like a knockout rose during the will of God, not a weed. Am I a weed or a rose? Do I listen to the words of God and try to put them into my life? Or do I just sort of do my own thing, which is not good often? I think it's like a weed. This is a little bit hokey, isn't it? No, Jesus didn't think so. So I think I'll let you decide what Jesus says, what God says in the prophet, and what the prophet Jesus said in this parable of the seeds and the pathway. Have a good day.